The alien fleet loomed in space, their sleek, powerful ships hovering like predators in the cold vacuum. 1,000 ships, each a marvel of technology, their hulls gleaming with the light of distant stars. The Zintheri were an ancient race with a history spanning millennia. Their technology was beyond anything the galaxy had ever seen, and they ruled the stars with unmatched power. They were the undisputed masters of the cosmos. And then came the humans. Their ship, the Hope's Reach, was a ragged thing. Its hull was scarred from countless battles, patched together with what seemed like scavenged parts. To the Zintheri, it was a mockery. The sight of it floating out of the darkness, surrounded by a fleet of superior beings, was enough to make even the most hardened warriors snicker. "Junkyard trash," one of the Zintheri captains muttered. "Their technology is centuries behind ours. They're no match for us." The other commander shared a similar sentiment. The Hope's Reach was nothing more than a relic, a desperate last-ditch effort from a species that had no business being in the galactic arena. The humans had barely been able to hold their own against the lesser races of the galaxy, and now they were daring to challenge the Zintheri. Their arrogance was palpable. "We'll finish them quickly," another captain said, his voice oozing with disdain. "It won't even be a fight." But as the Zintheri ships closed in, something unexpected happened. The Hope's Reach opened fire. At first, it seemed like a futile attempt. The primitive energy weapons of the human ships struck the Zintheri fleet, but their shields absorbed the impact effortlessly. The Zintheri laughed, certain that the humans were merely wasting their ammunition. But then, a strange thing occurred. The Hope's Reach didn't stop firing. It didn't run out of power or retreat, as the Zintheri had anticipated. No, the humans fought with a ferocity that was completely alien to the Zintheri. The ship, though battered and broken, never ceased its barrage. It fought like a wounded animal, relentless, desperate, but somehow effective. One by one, the Zintheri ships began to falter. The humans weren't just fighting for survival. They were fighting for something far greater, a belief that had driven them from their home planet and into the stars. They weren't just a species. They were a symbol of something more. The Zintheri ships, for all their power, began to realize that they were not dealing with the weak, cowardly race they had assumed them to be. The Hope's Reach was far from junkyard trash. It was the embodiment of humanity's resilience, their refusal to yield in the face of impossible odds. The first Zintheri ship exploded in a burst of flame and debris, then another and another. The Zintheri commanders watched in stunned silence as their fleet began to disintegrate, one by one. They had underestimated humanity's greatest strength, its spirit. The Zintheri were not accustomed to this. They were used to conquering races without a fight, to seeing their enemies cower before their superior technology. But these humans, they didn't fear death. They embraced it, using it as fuel to fight harder, to push further. The humans were not playing by the rules of the galaxy. They were rewriting the rules. As the battle raged on, the remaining Zintheri captains realized the truth. They were facing something they had never encountered before. Humanity had been written off as weak, insignificant, and yet here they were, turning the tide of battle with sheer willpower. And then, the final blow came. The Hope's Reach launched a surprise assault that tore through the Zintheri flagship's defenses. In a flash, the largest ship in their fleet was obliterated, its advanced hull crumbling under the weight of human determination. The Zintheri fleet, now leaderless and in disarray, began to retreat. The humans had won. The remaining Zintheri ships fled into the darkness of space, their commanders stunned by what had just happened. How had they lost to these humans? The surviving Zintheri captains communicated amongst themselves, their voices filled with disbelief. "They are not what they seem," one said, his voice low and trembling. "No, they are not," another replied, his tone filled with respect. "We thought them weak, but they are stronger than we ever imagined." The humans had proven one undeniable truth. When it came to the survival of their species, there was no force in the universe more powerful than the human spirit. The Hope's Reach floated in the silence of space, battered, scarred, but triumphant. Its crew had fought not just for their ship, not just for their lives, but for the future of humanity itself. They had shown the galaxy what it meant to never give up, to never surrender. And as the Zintheri fleet vanished into the darkness, one thing was clear. Humanity was no longer a species to be dismissed. They were a force to be reckoned with.